my goodness. Welcome to the UGCrowns. My name is Aquaberry Amy, or you can call me Primetime, or you know what? I'm okay with Amy too. This is gonna be a special episode. I'm in my room. I'm in my graceful room. And I'm gonna try to edit out any background noises that you might hear, so it will be much more enjoyable to listen to, right? I also have my fan on because it's fucking hot, okay? This is gonna be a weird episode because I don't have anybody to bounce off of except for myself. I just want to make an EP. Yeah, I just want to shoot the shit, do some stuff, right? I'm waiting for Invalid Nally to get out of the shower right now. We've been talking all day. Well, for a few hours. We've been talking about just stuff. We just have these bouts of conversations sometimes where we just, talk. It's nice. Do stuff. Talk about stuff. He is not here. He's been doing EPs for the Crown when he can. In his home away from home, or well, I guess you call it his home now. He is in good old West Virginia with his grandpappy and grandma and dad, which is great, right? Doing this thing. He told me he doesn't miss it, so good for him, right? I have a cold, so bear with me, right? We've been talking for like the past, 2 weeks about, something that he wants me to do. I don't know if you know this or not, you probably heard it on a recent EP, but I am dating somebody. How great is that, right? And he wants us to do, a couples episode, an episode of UGCrowns, where me and Brett do a couples episode. Now, when I say couples episode, obviously there will be, a segment based around the fact that yes, we are dating. And it's gonna be a newlyweds thing, so that should be fun. Our plans at first was to have him, kind of do a clip of him, saying the question, but I didn't really get how that would work out, so I just said, screw it. I woke up this morning and I'm like, you know what? Here's what you're gonna do. I told him to just do an intro for the segment, and, I would take it from there, and, he can clean it up if he wants, but I'm pretty sure I could get it myself. But we'll just see how that goes. I'm really excited for that. The thing about, adding somebody to the Crown is the Crown has a very specific way of doing things. At least I like to think so. Something that John never really grasped, I guess. Because can we all just agree that... I'm sorry, John. You're just... Where was the dyke during all this, by the way? Where was she? Can she have been on the show? No, she was asleep 15-18. But, the thing about the show is that it's not like a podcast where you get on and you're very informational and you get on and you just, talk. It's a lot of, inside jokes that I'm probably gonna have to teach to him, but that's fine. I mean, it's fine. I was talking to Nalad earlier, or last night, and he was like, just let him, be himself. And I'm like, of course I'm gonna let him be himself, right? I'd be shitty if I said, hey, you have to be like this. Although I was a little weird when it came down to the intro music. But anyway, apart from that, John was the, I'm gonna try to tell this really cool joke, and, I looked it up earlier, and I thought it was gonna be good, so I'm gonna tell it on the show, but then when he tries to tell it on the show, it doesn't go as he plans, and he just kind of stumbles over his words and mumbles half of it, and we're just like, what? You're perking? And we're just like, what'd you say? What is that? Okay, and that gets on my fucking nerves, by the way. Did I mention that gets on my nerves? Poor dude, by the way. Poor John for being shitty at the podcast. Now that I give you props for putting up with that. I couldn't even do it on Billy Goat Gruff. I don't know. You know. Anyway, you know, I don't think that Brett's going to be, on John's level or standards by any means. Because if there's anything good about Brett when it comes down to this, is that he can really go on about a topic for a long time, if he wants to. And, plus he's got the comedic, oops, I got a message. No, I didn't. And plus he's got that kind of comedic relief that I'm kind of looking for since, you know, Nala isn't here. And, I don't know. I just feel like I want him to be able to not need me as a crutch. Although, you know, he might at first. It's when I first did the show, officially, not like Funeral Crasher. When I first did the show, episode 97, I think, I was a little, like, shitty. But I don't know. By episode 100, I was pretty okay, and I think by that point in time, at least by episode 103, I'd kind of just pushed John off his high chair and just kind of sat in it myself, you know? I was second mic is what I'm trying to say, alright? And, I feel like John was a little relieved that, he was no longer second mic, because, you know, he says that, oh, he was an original crown. He was, like, the original mic. He was always the second mic. Like, yeah, you were, but I think it was because Nally didn't want to do the show alone, which he could have. You very well could have, Nally. I don't know. I just feel like he was very, like, he just had that big, like, whew, moment when I came along and took his place. Now, I'm not saying that, like, he wanted to be off the show. I'm just saying that he didn't want to have to, be responsible for being, let me just put it this way, being second mic means you, have to support first mic, or have to at least have an opinion about things. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, right? John just didn't have that skill set, and I feel really bad for him. Not gonna lie, but I will admit, I think the show got better when I came along. And yes, I'm tooting my own horn. But, I don't know, do you remember when the Amy era commenced? Queen Anal? Not literally anal, Brett. I know you're listening. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what I came in with this episode with. I just came in like, man, I really want to do an EP. I wonder what I'm even going to do other than the Newlywed segment. Hopefully this weekend. That's my crutch, by the way. I don't have anybody to bounce off right now. Hold on, let me message old Nally. He's in the shower. Send. I hope my mic quality is good. Okay, Nally. Okay, Nallin. First of all, you fuck. You told me, hey, I'm gonna get you a mic so you can do the show. Okay, I was all fine and dandy with that. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna get you this mic, it's gonna be great. Dude, a week later you said, yeah, like, I'm happy to, like, buy you this. Like, it's okay. And then, like, a week later you were like, yeah, I may or may not have spent that money on action figures. First of all, you're 20, right? You're 20, or almost gonna be 20. What the fuck are you doing? Like, stop it. Fucking stop it. Jesus, dude. Like, I would have even been happy if you would have put your old mic in a box and just sent it to my house here in old Virginia. Like, please, like, give me that privilege to get your old mic, to use your special mic, okay? But anyway, let's not even talk about that anymore, okay? You know, it doesn't matter. I'm using the mic on my decent computer, I guess. I don't know. There is something I want to talk about, that me and Nally were talking about earlier. Were the 90s really just the 90s? Did the 90s stop after, midnight on the last day of 1999? I mean, okay. Think, like you said, Nally, Johnny Bravo, what, 2002? What, Powerpuff Girls, 2000? Don't you always remember seeing those, like, things on Facebook, like, oh, do you remember these shows? And they have, like, I don't know, like a whole, collage of just, like, I don't know, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo. I don't even know any other names to name off, but you know the ones I'm talking about, right? Courage the Cowardly Dog. And they show, like, the old Cartoon Network, and then they show some shows from the new Cartoon Network. And, they always say, yeah, the 90s was the best. People always get mad at Cartoon Network for dropping the old shows. And kinda just making new ones. Now it kinda, like, opened my eyes up to something new that I hadn't really thought of, up until this point. He said that you can't blame, Cartoon Network for doing that. And I started to think about it. I'm like, you know what, maybe you're right. Because you don't see, Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls using a smartphone, do you? No, you don't. And I feel like the people who made the show Powerpuff Girls, when it came down to, like, what, 2007, 2008, when the internet era happened, they were kind of like, I really don't want to change the show. Now, I don't know if that's, like, why they didn't just conform like SpongeBob did, or adapt, rather, like SpongeBob did, or Fairly Odd Parents, or, you know, and props to those shows for making it through the whole 2008 change. Speaking of SpongeBob, have you guys ever seen the commercials for, like, the new SpongeBob movie? First of all, it looks really shitty. Like, have you seen the graphics? They made it, like, look too realistic. Like, realistic as in, it looks like they made clay figures and just did, like, a stop motion, like, video thing with it. You know how some people make stop motion videos, where, like, they make clay figures or something like that, and they just move them every inch, and, like, stop and, like, start the camera. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but the graphics just look too realistic. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, you'll know that it's very animated, as in, like, I don't know, 1999, like, graphics, animation. But I feel like since it's made in 2015, it's just too realistic for, I don't know, a kid's movie. I don't know, even movies that aren't for kids, well, they are for kids, but movies that are, like, made by big professional, industries, I don't know, How to Train Your Dragon, even they don't look that realistic, and it's kind of scary. I'm not even gonna lie, it is a little, like, unsettling, and that's why I don't want to go watch it. If it didn't look like that, maybe I would go watch it and give it a chance. But anyway, back on topic, right? These people that are always claiming, like, yeah, I'm a 90s kid because I was born in, like, 1992. Okay, first of all, the 80s lasted until 1994. Do you remember Full House? Do you remember their setup? Do you think in like 1990, do you think the Full House just kind of said, oh man, it's 1990 now, new era, we gotta change clothes, we gotta make this house look different? It's gotta look different in here, guys. Alright, everybody, like, take apart the studio and make it different. Like, no. People get so used to their ways. It's really hard to, like, kind of go into a new era. Like, think of how things were back in 1970, and now look at today, right? It's very different. But it's not like when 2010 rolled along, it's like, oh man, I guess we gotta do something different now. Like, no, people in 2010 still act very much alike today, right? Obviously things are changing, but, culture changes, right? They don't just happen because they happen. They don't just happen because people are like, hey, we need to change. No, everything is based around technology, right? The world is essentially a computer. Now it is anyway. Maybe back in the 1970s, 1980s, it wasn't like that. But, you know, the reason people find the 1990s so iconic is because we were getting ready for the technology age to blossom. You know, scientists, engineers, right? We're finding all this cool, you know, information, creating new technology. And because of that, all these cool toys came out, and new gadgets, the VCR. Did the VCR come out in the 1990s? I'm pretty sure it did. New cars were being made, new TVs, right? And I guess that's why people, like, think that the 90s was so amazing. The 90s was amazing, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Like I said, everything is based around technology. I was watching a cartoon yesterday with my niece and nephew for about 5 minutes, and one of the characters had a smartphone. Like, what the fuck is that? And I was watching a cartoon about a year ago where it was a cartoon about two kid scientists, which is very unrealistic, by the way. Maybe, I don't know. And they had computers and a lot of advanced setups, but something that does contradict that statement is Dexter's laboratory, whatever you want to say it. Dexter's Laboratory was a late 90s, early 2000s cartoon, and Dexter had a bunch of just computers, high, all the way up to the ceiling, that oddly fit under this man's house. Anyway, the thing about that is, the difference between the cartoon that I saw last year and Dexter is the cartoon that I saw last year was realistic. In a sense that there were individual computers that were a little large, but they kind of look like NASA computers, I guess you could say. While on the other hand, Dexter had, like, sci-fi original setups from, like, 1970. It was like, I don't know, now, do you know those, like, weird sci-fis that Junior watches sometimes? That's what it reminded me of. And, like, there were, like, mazes and, like, huge, like, unrealistic gadgets that were, like, futuristic gadgets that people thought of, like, in the 1970s. Do you remember Back to the Future? People thought there would be hoverboards by now, right? Floating cars. All these crazy things that now, in 2015, we're like, oh man, in 2030, hoverboards, right? I don't know, it's just that technology changes things, and I think that, yeah, technology is a great thing. In 1970s, maybe that wasn't the main reason there was a culture change. Maybe it was. I don't know, I wasn't alive in the 1970s. But, technology advances every day, okay? Software engineers make new things for you to play with on your phone, okay? And there are tons of engineering occupations out there that just make things more easy to use, okay? New ways of living. And it's weird that that kind of ties into cartoons. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like Nald said, pop culture is a real, like, interesting thing for him. And, it is interesting. I don't know. I just want to talk about it today. I'm out. Thank you for watching, I guess. I don't know. I feel like this would be so much better if I had another mic with me. But, just a solo episode for today. There will hopefully be a Brett and Amy episode coming soon. I don't know how that'll go. Hopefully it'll go good. I'm aiming for 30 minutes, but hey, if we last an hour, then great. Good stuff. That means that there would definitely be more episodes in the future. Hopefully I won't have to leave all this up to Naled. Because obviously we can't do episodes together unless we do Skype. But, last time we Skyped, the internet connection was so shitty I could barely hear him. So I don't know how that'll go. But, thanks so much for watching. My name is Amy. You can follow us at UGCrowns, on Twitter. And, hey, have a nice fucking day. And I'll see you next time.